And we're back. No edit.
No edit.
No edit. It's the No Edit podcast. It goes straight
That's
to
actually
YouTube.
a good name for a podcast.
That's it. No edit.
So you need a checklist in the morning as well for when you pack your bag to leave.
Yeah.
You should have, like, instead of a mental note, so when we get to a hotel room next, like in your little bookie, you write your little checklist and we'll rip it out and we'll put it, like, I don't know, on the desk or something so you can always look at it.
It's a good idea. That's why I checked your bag the other day. I was like, I have experienced a year trying to bring everything.
Yeah.
There's always things missing. So today is the charger.
Whoa.
Could be worse. I brought the battery. See, I have backup. My backup have backup.
You're joking.
I'm getting better.
You are getting better.
So it's Ali in the news. What's the name of the segment?
I don't know. Ali in the news, I'm not so much, I've never been a news kind of person, so I think the name needs to be worked on because,
We'll work on the name.
I've never been a news person.
You're a what person?
Maybe something like What's Up with Ali or where I don't know. We'll work on the name.
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? And it is Sokran today. It started yesterday.
Are you a fan?
I'm not sure yet, you know.
What's Sokran, first of all?
Sokran is the Thai New Year, which is April 13th, which is today. And I really don't know much about it. All I know is that it's also a big water festival. So I don't know what the history is behind the whole water thing and how that started, but they like to spray people with water. It's basically a huge, massive, countrywide water fight. And everyone has water guns and buckets of water, and you can spray people. You can't get in trouble for it because it's Sokran.
So that, like, as a kid, you can't process how cool that is.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm allowed to spray my teacher, my mom, my dad, the king.
Yeah. Anyone. And
the king would walk in Bangkok and like.
Oh yeah.
I think he would get sprayed.
I'm sure.
He wouldn't even get recognized, like with the buckets. Like, no, wait, stop! I'm the king. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they have buckets of water. So and big. They put out big plastic pools in front of their houses and restaurants and stuff. So last night when we were on the bike riding down the street, people were just throwing buckets of water. And I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting a little water gun, like pee, pee, pee. But when the bucket of water came on us, I was like, oh, okay. Like, this is happening. We're all wet.
This is where I'm not a fan. Like, I'm just trying to get the coffee dry. And then I'll come back and then let's say beach. And okay, now I can get wet, but you cannot really choose. They wait for you. And then at some point, there's also like, okay, they're gonna spray me anyway. So then I play with them. I can like turn left and right and shit. And so they love to spray me. I told you.
We have to surrender to the water. If you're going to enjoy this holiday, surrender to the water. You're going to get wet regardless. So we were actually invited to a little family, not little actually, big family gathering tonight. Family, city, neighborhood gathering. So I'd like to pass by.
Yeah, we'll go. I can give you a prediction. It's like people get wasted. Yeah. That's like that's the concept of like the entire day is on holiday and everybody gets wasted together, and which is perfect. It's like
it's New Year's Eve. Well, New Year's Day.
It's New Year's thing, but we're not gonna be in let's get wasted mood at 2 p.m.
I'm mostly just going for the food. They're gonna have barbecue.
Yeah, that's kind of cool though. But to see like. He has a big house on the main road, and let's go see that. So tomorrow we move.
We're finally moving. Can you believe it?
But prepare yourself.
Why?
Luc told me, and it's not because you have a bag, you have a passport in your hand. You're like, please, no, please, with your passport. Like, sploosh. Whatever, bro. I'm drunk.
We're gonna be in a car.
Till you get to the car, you might get sprayed.
Oh.
In the car, you don't get sprayed. In the airport, for sure, no.
Yeah.
But like Luc told me, let's say, from what I'll talk to him like maybe today or tomorrow. From what I got from his face, he was like, "Fuck this."
Oh, really?
After a while, I think.
Yeah.
I think. Imagine how crazy people are in Nana. Let's say.
Yeah. Oh my God, I
It
can't
must be
imagine all the girls like,
crazy.
woohoo! Like wet t-shirt contest. It's basically a giant wet t-shirt contest.
So then, like,
spring
there are
break.
people that like load water into their pickup truck,
No way.
and then they put ice in the water, and they spray with a bucket with ice. And,
So does Luke just stay home?
I think he goes away. Like
Oh, yeah?
he's in the Philippines right now.
Ah.
If he can, I think he skips it. But after like 20, already like we've been sprayed for 3 days.
Hold on, I have a wedgie.
No edit.
My underwear is uncomfortable. I had to adjust it.
There's no edit. You can adjust it. You just can't edit it out. So yeah, after 10, 12 Sokran, like already people started spraying water like 2 days ago and yesterday.
Today's the real day though, no?
It's like, see, in Koh Samui, it lasts till the 18th. We're gonna get sprayed for a week.
Ay, bay.
So better be at the beach. And
where are we going?
Jomtien,
Where's Jomtien?
Pattaya,
Pattaya.
Bangkok area. So prediction. Let's see if I can read a beach. Like I said, so I always had an easier time reading a city from a place that I've never been with just like Google Map and here's the downtown, here's the stuff, let's go there. And I was usually right. Then a beach, I was usually wrong. Let's go to Albush. We're like, oh my God, like what the hell?
Yeah.
Let's go to Puerto Morelos. Like what the hell? And then we ended up in the jungle, which is not the beach. And then Playa del Carmen, I was like, this is like a horrible place. Then we had to go there to buy some wood. And then we had to like reconsider the fact that it was not a horrible place anymore. It had changed into the city beach. I was usually wrong. But then for Khao Lak, for Patong, I was pretty right. I had a good idea it would look like that. Looked like that. Perfect. Let's get out of here. Khao Lak, I was pretty right. I think I'm developing the ability to read where is fun on a beach. And I have good feeling about some areas around Pattaya, which is exactly like Playa. It evolved with a bad name, a bad reputation, because it developed around a strip full of like
walking street.
Yeah, a walking street, like full of bars and craziness. And then people are like, and I never been to Pattaya because of that. I was usually wrong, but now I was looking at, it's like it developed into that's a city.
You know, remember that website you found with the map?
Yeah.
With all the cool little districts? I wonder if Pattaya is on there. We should check.
It for sure is.
It's very accurate.
It was accurate. I don't know how they do that. So that was accurate. And but now it's like, it's almost a suburb of Bangkok. It's so big. So now it's like a giant city.
I'm excited to go.
With like high, say 50-story building, like the thing, La Riviera, Jomtien. It's a building where William Tadian was. I checked yesterday. There are like apartments for rent for like a month. It's like the Hillside 4.
Oh yeah.
But 1,000 apartments.
Damn.
It's so big. It's like in Asia when it's like we're building apartments to the sky. with probably like there's a pool on this like 78th floor. So everybody has an insane view.
Damn.
Then you get into an elevator and it's like Hillside 4, but like 2 minutes to get up probably.
Maybe that's where we'll be staying. We'll see.
I don't think it's like Hillside 4. I don't think they do short-term rentals that much. They're not supposed to, but blah, blah, blah. And I looked, a condo there is about 3 million baht.
Which is how much Canadian?
It was 100,000.
Well, that's not bad.
Look at your app.
300 baht?
3 million
3
baht.
million. 113,000. That's pretty good.
Super small, 35 meters square, which
It's
normally
like a what? Like a studio?
it's a room. It's like a. Remember the Hillside 2 in Chiang Mai? That room. It's an hotel room.
Ah, but you made a good point yesterday about the kitchen.
The kitchen.
Yeah.
Which was.
Well, you were talking about buying a condo somewhere and renting it out. Let's say in Playa del Carmen, you need, or it's obviously much more better to get a place with a kitchen. Like people need to cook, right? You need a place with a kitchen in most places in the world to be able to rent something. And in Thailand, kitchen culture is not really a thing.
Wow.
So you can easily buy a condo that does not have a kitchen, or maybe has a comptoir, like a counter with a sink, like we had at Hillside, with a little induction stove thing that you buy from Home Depot, a rice cooker, and that's it.
It's even rice.
When you think about it that way, it's like,
there's rice downstairs, like for cheaper, already prepared. Mm-hmm. They're ready to put it in a bag to give it to you. It's like, why have a kitchen here? So a small flat in Thailand, perfect. It's perfect. But there are no condo in Khao Lak. There is no wind in Khao Lak.
It's very hot.
So I'm slowly fading away to the heat and the water.
Khao Lak is our surf destination in Thailand. Where we come to chill for a bit, try to surf, and move on.
Yeah, I think
it's like a vacation spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I place good hopes in Jomtien, Pattaya.
Me too.
There is wind right now, so there is kite, and it's a city, and it's a beach, and there are. The other problematic thing is when you're inside a city, is you cannot get out. No, it depends on the size of the city. Let me rephrase. But let's say you're in Bangkok, you can't get out. It will cost you like $40
and a lot of time
and 2 hours to get out of the city.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck this. Let's stay inside the city. But then it's like noise and pollution and craziness, which is fine. But all the time, it's not that fine. Let's say Playa, you have noise and craziness and city, but you can almost walk to a nothing beach with nothing.
Or drive somewhere in 15 minutes.
Yeah, 15 minutes, you're out of the city. That's a perfectly sized city.
Yeah.
Then Pattaya.
Maybe Pattaya is going to be the Playa del Carmen.
It certainly is the playa of Thailand. That I'm pretty sure of it. Because it has a Fifth Avenue walking street with the band and the craziness, plus the girls here. Which is nice to have access to a walking street. Yeah. Like in Playa, it's kind of like we don't want to chill there that often.
No, sometimes but we would always just go walk and like people watch.
Check the band. We should have checked the band. Like we should have went to the bands more.
Yeah, we never did.
It was a little crazy, but with like earplugs and everything, it's like a show. You have to arrive with your earplugs. But it's nice to have access to a walking street. It's kind of a human zoo.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's nice to have access to a beach where there's no one, like here.
Yeah.
Can you have both? For a while, maybe. That's the thing, too. Because a perfectly sized city won't stay perfectly sized for long. It will.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go explore. Let's go explore Jomtien.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Tell me.
So, I guess my phone is listening to me, but I saw. Hold on. Where is it now? Hold on. Okay, let me look for it here. Yeah, Cape Town, digital and nomad. All right. So, like I said, I think my phone is listening to our conversations. Article popped up this morning from the BBC. Cape Town's digital nomads where idyllic lifestyle clashes with local needs. So they're talking about how soon they're going to be instilling some kind of digital nomad visa in Cape Town because the digital nomads are just like flooding
really?
Cape Town. And that's why the prices are going up. That's why rent is going up. That's why locals are being pushed out because they can't afford to live there anymore. So hold on, let me read you some. Yeah, it was quite interesting. Many Cape Townians do not feel this way, going by the volume of complaints on social media, including TikTok and so on. This person says she is being priced out of the city where she has spent her entire life. She fears that she will never be able to afford to move out of her parents and live on her own like she had always hoped. There are a lot of people chasing too few properties in Cape Town, and the rental costs are the highest in the country. The average rent is around $540 a month, and prices rose by just under 4% between 2022 and 2023, according to South African property site PayProp. These digital nomads are making Cape Town unlivable. Grant Smee, a rental agent based in Cape Town, tells the BBC there has been a significant spike in foreigners seeking 3 to 6 month rentals, indicating a rise of remote workers. This is a growing concern for locals as they are being priced out of the housing market. Mr. Smee says foreigners have more power than locals because they can offer landlords a higher rent than the asking price, or they pay for a few months up front, which many South Africans cannot afford to do.
Wow.
Mr. Smee believes the city authority needs to take a step further and implement rent control, though he can see that most landlords would be against this. He acknowledges that capping rent is an extreme solution, but is becoming increasingly clear that further regulation is needed to protect the interests of the locals. So yeah, what do you think about that?
What do I think about that? So,
as a potential foreign investor.
As a potential foreign investor. Well, let me tell you what I think about that as an ex-local investor in Montreal. Isn't it the same discussion that there is in Montreal and probably everywhere, where some locals say that, exactly that, okay. But then, okay, so we can't afford to stay where we grew up, okay. But where you grew up is, let's say, in the center of a big city on earth. So, should there be laws to protect you to stay there? Like, this is maybe, but the thing is, if you grew up in Marieville, then there's no problem. But if you grow up inside like a popular destination like Montreal, then it's not so good unless you bought, right? So I met many people who, let's say, older than us. They bought in 1995 in Montreal a triplex. It was hard, like it was expensive, but now they're like millionaires. It's cool for them, right? So it's not cool for the people who didn't buy. Okay, maybe because they didn't want to, or maybe because they chose not to.
Well, or they couldn't
could've.
afford it.
Maybe, and then maybe they choose not to. And then the price of the rent goes up by the amount of people that choose this as a touristic destination or like a place to live, like Montreal. And then, until what point should you be allowed, because you lived there, to stay there at a cheaper rent? I'm like confused. What about tomatoes then? Let's forget rent, but they need to eat. What about tomatoes? You need tomato. Like, what about rice and corn? You need rice and corn to survive. Do you need to cap the price of rice and corn? Like, because of the rent, I cannot afford to eat. So now you need to cap the price of the food too. And then that's where it's like in the human endeavor with capitalism. We tried that a few times. It didn't go very well.
What does that mean, the human endeavor to have capitalism?
So, like, let's say we started this money thing because we couldn't trade many different products. Okay? So, let's say you have like a small town. Let's say you're like a bunch of monkeys in the forest, but at some point, like, somebody gets corn, somebody gets apples, somebody gets shoes, like some specialization. But then even at like 4 products, you can't even track how much is a shoes worth in corn compared to apple. So then every time in every little groups of monkeys on earth, like, they created a money, okay? Some kind of ways to trade corn and like, okay, so you create a money. And then that money has a value, and then it helps you trade. And that part is kind of like it happens every time. So it's not like somebody decided like, oh, I'm gonna create money. It's like it maybe happened like, oh, the king decided, but it's really like because the trade is impossible with a few products if you don't have some form of fake value thing to help you trade.
Okay.
Now you have money. Now with that money you can trade. Okay, but then like then people, they want like stuff that they need, like a roof and like food, and then stuff that they choose they want, like the camera and nicer shoes. And then that creates like a market. Okay, so then at some point, let's say I'll name the 2 biggest example, but there are for sure others in history that I don't know. They're like, it's not very logical to produce all that rice and all that bread if like some of it goes away. We should do a central planning. We should plan that we need that much bread and that much corn, and not leave it to the individuals to like choose to produce corn or bread, and then the price skyrockets, and then the price drops for certain other items. So they tried that, let's say, in the USSR. They were like, we're communists, let's go buy the booklet.
Okay.
It's true that it's illogical, we should central plan this stuff. And then they did. And then, fast forward a few years, they had to like call for the entire herd to ship us grain. We're all dying here.
Really?
Yeah,
They didn't have enough?
didn't have enough. And then, like, many reasons are like, I'll skip to why. Let's say. It's the node calculation theory or like explanation. It's because when you have a market, you have a bunch of people who are optimizing just a little part, just coffee, like, and not even coffee. I won't produce coffee. I won't roast coffee. I'll just serve coffee. And then I won't serve coffee and everywhere. I just serve coffee here, let's say, and then I'll make it better than him, better than, okay, and we'll put like these towels and then, and people go to you because now you're better and maybe cheaper, maybe better and cheaper. Like if you optimize just your little part. And then another person just optimize like this type of corn that is very good for nananam. And then the result of that is that everybody kind of optimize their own little part, and then everything gets optimized to a certain degree. And then with a phone, you can call, get it delivered, get the bag for your bread. Okay, get the little plastic thing for your bread. Okay, there's somebody who will sell it, and then you go to a supermarket. There's a wall full of bread. If you try to plan, you're like, okay, let's plan. But you cannot, first of all, now you're like a paid employee. You're not like really thinking about you. You're more like a paid employee, let's say. So you're like, okay, let's try to plan. Like they should need that much for that village. But then let's say like the data that you use was wrong.
You miscalculate.
You miscalculate.
That doesn't sound efficient.
No, it's not efficient. So at the peak of this thing in the USSR, they would ship a bunch of like university like Illuminatis to like the UK to see a supermarket in the UK, and they just get like, can you believe this?
Seriously?
Shit? It's full of bread.
No way.
We're like all the smartest mind in the USSR, and we can't figure that shit out. But you can't. That's the thing. So they had to go back to reintroduce the free market for food. Right? Okay, so they did that. Then there's a second example. In China, they were like a kind of like similar mindset. Let's plan, they didn't have learned yet from those lessons. So let's plan stuff. And then what was the big idea is like we need more. We need to produce more rice. Like if only we could produce twice the rice, we'd be much richer. Okay, let's produce twice the rice. And then it was more like get it done. So and then the guy turns around to another, get it done. And then there was like, and then the farmer at the end, they were like, I'm producing as much rice as I possibly can because I want to make as much money as I can possibly can. But then it's like, as soon as you introduce laws, the farmer, they're like, fuck this. For a few years, I'll produce just the rice to feed my family. And that's it. I don't feel like it. I'm sick or whatever. You come produce the rice. So, and then they were like, okay, what are the other problems that impedes us from producing more rice? The birds. Those damn birds there, they are like, let's say eating rice. Yeah. I don't know like what the birds were like. So let's do this like China wide thing where we'll go out and we'll bang on our casserole, bang, 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 and make noise. And when you do that, the birds they freak out and they cannot land. Okay, so China, let's get rid of those birds that destroy the crops. Yeah. And everybody were like, yay, bang, 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 and the birds they flew, and then they died. Those birds specifically.
I have to Google this. This is interesting.
Yeah. Yay! Let's celebrate. Only problem is the birds, they were eating some kind of larva.
Okay.
That was really problematic if the birds weren't there anymore. Like these larvae would eat the entire fucking crop. But then it was like with the attitude of we need to produce twice, get it done. And then the people were like starting to lie on their report. How many rice did you produce in the whatever region? And they were like, we produced double. Great job. And then he would report to his like that this whole chain,
Yeah.
and the other would lie, like we produced triple, sir. So at the end, the guy with the data was like, we did it. We produced triple. But we have all this rice at the port. Let's sell it to Kenya. And they sold the rice that they had because they were like, we have so much rice, like whatever, because people lie. Because now they're not self-optimizing anything. They just choose to lie. So the whatever rice that they had, they sold to other nations. And then at some point they realized like, fuck, the larvae eat all the crops, but it's okay because we have all this rice. Everybody lied. We have no rice. And then like, fucked up.
When was this?
1960, let's say. I don't remember the exact number. Millions of people died. Like,
no way.
Something like
it was like a rice drought.
Million. It was like no more rice, no more food. That's it. We have no more food. Everybody help. And then it looks bad. They don't want to call for help. That's where like the group of nation is like a, let's say, high school, the primary school. It's like we don't want to ask for help because it looks bad.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, but then everybody dies and
be
they have no
vulnerable.
children. Yeah,
China, be vulnerable. Ask for help.
And they reintroduced the market. And every time somebody tells me like they should I'm like, didn't go that well when we did test that in history. But that's with food. Now, with rent, I think that you can, it's slightly different. Because first of all, like you draw an invisible line in the ground and decide that this is like yours.
Yeah.
And then you can build on top of it, but you can rent it. I think you can go further with the regulations and still the market will still kind of take it. Food, like, don't touch it ever again. Food is the price that it is. And rent, I think it's the second, like, touch it with very, very careful. Like, because as soon as people think that, like, oh shit, let's not go there anymore. They just like, they always interfere with the price of land and let's not buy, and everybody sells and the price crashes. And then you realize that, it was better when our houses were worth something. Touch it with care.
Touch it with care.
So food, no regulation, and rent. Be sure you know what you're talking about, because like, are you just like, I wish my rent was lower and I don't give a shit about everybody else, or you're just like, are you analyzing this thing like really carefully? I'm always a little puzzled about like rent control regulations. Some, I think it's good, a little bit, but
speaking of rent and real estate, I wanted to ask, what is your advice for someone who wants to get into the real estate game, who has no experience, who's risk aversive, who's a little fearful, but who's curious and potentially willing to do the work and, you know, kind of school themselves on it and dip their toes? Would you recommend just throwing yourself into it? Would you recommend taking some kind of little course class thing? You're gonna say just watch YouTube videos? Like,
what's the goal of that person, that theoretical person?
To learn a new skill.
But what's the skill that they want to learn?
To be able to make money, make smart decisions.
With real estate.
With real estate.
So make money with real estate. That's the skills that they want to learn. Okay. And what's the investment that they're willing to like do in exchange for that upside.
Are you talking about financial or
Everything,
everything?
like say it goes from risk to time to learning to read books to clean to fucking like go on your knees and clean the shit that is below that has been accumulated. Like what are they willing to do?
All of it.
All of it. Like time, effort, everything. Then that changes the game a lot by a lot. Like because usually it's not all of it. It's more like, oh, I just want to get rich, but I don't want to read a book or whatever. And in which case, it's like if you're not willing to go all the way, then don't do it. That's my
First tip.
yeah. Like you need to get your hands dirty in any ways that you can. And well, then my advice is not very complicated.
No, but
like,
you're talking like to someone who's like they're 5, you know. Keep in mind that a lot of people don't have your sort of mental state, brain capacity, intellectual
no, but that's
ability to absorb information quickly. And,
yeah, by real estate, it's people sleeping, shitting, and showering in your place. That's what it is. Okay, like you're 5, you need to shit, eat, and sleep, and you need people. Let's call them clients. Okay, it can be long term, short term, whatever. You need people to shit in your roof. That's it. So, what can you acquire or rent, and how are you gonna get clients into that? There's like it's not a like a, it's a pretty optimized market, so there's not like miracles that you can do. It's just like you have to take something and make it better, and you'll for sure have a client if you're at the proper location. So location would be one of my tips. Let's say choose the location carefully. So that would be one of my tips. The other tip is just like make it better and probably smaller. Because you have like, you buy this, how are you gonna make money? So my thing was like, well, I'll just, first of all, live there. So I'll take the very, very tiny part. And then the rest, I'll make it into like say we don't need a big ass fucking couch. It's just like it can be smaller but cooler. So make it smaller and cooler, and then the rest they become room, and then you rent the rooms.
But I'm even talking about going as far back as like before you even think about location and such, like learning about all the financial terms, risks, you know, mortgages, loans, cash paying, interest rates, inflation, like all that kind of stuff, which I guess is the more not academic, but
well, that part can be mostly ignored. Okay, mostly because all of that, all of those parameters that some you understand and some you don't, they're all factored into the price of today. Okay, the price of today is the price that it is because of all those parameters. Inflation, long-term debt, currency compared to that thing, and it's like that gives you the price that it is today. Now with real estate, the price of tomorrow is probably higher than today. And you cannot really time a market because it can be much higher or it can be cheaper. But at this point, the price is what it is. So always my advice is the price is what it is. It's what it is because you like if you try to time the market, like you're not a supercomputer brain that can time a market. Like even a supercomputer cannot, because it's like a chaotic system that if you influence, will influence it. You cannot really time it. That's the thing, let's say. So the price, it is what it is. And then all those factors, they just influence the price, right? So they influence the price and the price of your mortgage, which is the risk. Then after, so the price, forget the price. The price is what it is. It's just like, it's not, people say, oh, maybe it will be cheaper next year. Probably not, but maybe, but you don't know. And you can't know. If you knew that and you could predict that, you'd be a billionaire already. You would go like, and predict and then like sell and buy and sell and buy and sell and buy and just like be a billionaire. But it's not possible. So the price is what it is. When you're ready to buy, that's the price it is. And if you're not ready to buy, like who cares about the price, right? And then, let's say I forget the rent part because somebody wants to get into real estate, they're probably looking to buy. And then there's a risk. So the risk is associated with only one thing. What do you have? What do you have?
In terms of assets?
Yeah, in terms of assets.
Well, you could have no assets.
But then what do you risk?
Nothing.
Nothing. You really risk nothing. Like you can say, oh, I risk my name. Yeah, but like if you buy something and then you lose it and then your name is like, yeah, but
like in terms of going bankrupt or something?
Yeah, but kind of like, that risk is always there, whether you have stuff or not. It can go wrong and you can lose stuff. It's for sure. It's risk.
I've been thinking about taking a little course or something.
Oh, really?
Yes.
About real estate?
Well, I'm late. In the last little while, I've been thinking about learning new skills and practical skills. Because, I have time. And I feel like it's a waste. Like I am doing stuff, with YouTube and everything, and I'm learning all that kind of stuff. But I feel like it's important for me to advance my education in some way and, stop coasting a little bit.
Interesting. And you're willing to go all the way.
I've been thinking about it.
That's like elbow deep in shit because the toilet has been licked.
I've already been elbow deep in shit many times.
There you go. So, and then so there's a thing, like all those things that they, let's say, will teach in those courses, they're good. There's a big but. Like they don't know how to start. Those courses are made there by people who are like, okay, I inherit a portfolio of assets, and this is how you manage it smartly. But when you have nothing, then that's where it's like they don't really know. But then that's good because you have me. So I know how to start with nothing. Let's say that's the thing. So real estate is a weird thing. Like I keep talking about invisible line. Like that's what it is. This is mine. Why? So we decided to devise the line. Like it's weird. Should it be that way? But then it's kind of how we organize our society, I guess. And it is a never-ending need of human. A roof, shit, shower, and sleep. Look at what we do when we travel. It's kind of like, okay, we go somewhere else. Okay, first our roof, because we have like just the sun and a few hours to find a new roof. That's it. So ours is like, first thing, where are we gonna sleep? And then second thing, what are we gonna eat? And that's pretty much like 97% of what we think about. So it's like the need will never go away. It's not like, oh, I have to invent a new product. Oh, that product is already, there's more and more humans on Earth. We have to go somewhere. And then when done right, it's rewarding, I'd say. Because you started from something that looks like shit. Well, I'll give you an example. I won't name it. Our friend, our engineer friend, has made an offer on a house. Okay.
Okay.
And he was, because when he sold his condo, like he owned it for like 10, 12 years, something like that. So he had like a chunk of money, the profit plus everything that he played on his hypothèque. So it was a nice fucking chunk of money. Then he was looking into getting the same hypothèque, then buying something double the price. And I was like, man, with that chunk of money, because you're not happier in a bigger place, more luxurious, let's say, we're as happy. That's the thing too. Like, we don't care about the size of our. Like, small is fine. It's like you can put a nice couch on. We don't need that much. So I was like, you don't need that much. You could buy whatever you like. That chunk of money, that's what you use to buy. And now he made an offer on a house that is equal to the chunk of money that he has.
So he'll live rent-free forever.
So he'll live rent-free forever. He needs money. He can rent a room or two. He's tired. Okay, guys, like it's him. It is gonna be his, and it's a little old. He's good with his hands. Like he doesn't mind. So he's gonna paint, decorate, order a new couch. He likes like very empty design.
He's a minimalist.
Yes, exactly. So it's gonna be pretty, because that's the problem with like, if you put many stuff, you have to make sure that you're more like your sister kind of taste than let's say our rich couple friend in Westmount kind of taste. So that's it. With real estate, with his real estate move 12 years ago, now he's gonna live rent-free forever. That's kind of satisfying. And he's gonna. So what's your goal though? You wanna?
I don't know. I never thought of buying something before. I have a few goals. One is to build my skill set so I can become more self-sufficient and independent and just more knowledgeable. The other is to make money for myself and for us, and to be a better partner to you.
And what do you have in mind? What would you buy? Like, don't say.
I'm not even there yet. Right now, I'm really in a phase of just educating myself, because I know,
but like, because that's where, like, let's say you educate yourself with like a traditional Canadian course, they will know nothing about owning something outside Canada. That's the thing too. It's like, if it's Canada oriented, it's a set of skills, and then let's say it's like, let's go to another country and buy there. That's totally different set of skills.
It would, I don't know, but it would be something small, because I also have no money. So that's the other question.
Yeah, but if it's in Canada, you can get a loan.
Yes, but I would put, I don't know. I need to.
But that's the thing. Then you have to pay the fucking loan.
Exactly. I'd rather try and not
get a loan. But then buying without a loan in Canada is just.
But I don't know if I would want to buy in Canada.
It's just impossible. Unless you buy a land. It's just a house in Canada. It's too expensive.
It would be something small, like an apartment, a condo, something to flip.
Flip.
Something to flip.
Now we're getting somewhere. To flip, that's actually different. Okay? That's what we should do, actually. Because that's a lot more like him with his like solar cream display. He
Yeah.
buys a box of solar cream, then he sells it. He gets whatever profit there is or loss if they're there for too long or they go bad. And then you get your money back plus profit, like kind of right away. And if you operate for a long term, it's a different game. Like you have to own for like decades before it's really like a cool profit. Flipping something is where I made my money, to be honest. Like those 2 times that I owned something for like a year and a half, that was the most profit I've made. It was like a year and a half. Paint white. Already I could have sold it back for like $35,000 more. Just painting white. I was looking at like our friend, the potential new house. Just like paint white. That's not the same house. It's crazy. So flipping, it's a good idea.
It would be to flip.
It would be to flip. Then that's easier to enter the market. But then it's easier because you can get a loan at a higher interest rate, but it's not for a long time. So it doesn't really matter. Let's say you pay 6% on a long-term loan. So you pay 10. It's 4 more percent, but only a year. Well, that's $4,000. Doesn't matter. You want to flip? You want to flippy flip? Describe me what you would flip. A small apartment?
Starting with something like that, yeah.
Okay. In a place like?
It doesn't have to be Canada.
Doesn't have to be Canada. In a place like?
Mexico.
Mexico. Interesting.
Or it doesn't have to be Mexico, but when I was thinking of it, I wasn't thinking of investing in Canada necessarily. It would, I mean, we have so many opportunities to invest in other countries.
Yeah. So there's a guy.
And I have ties to other countries too, so, you know.
That's true. You have a nice collection of passports. The nomad capitalist guy was telling the story of a friend. He buys to rent long term, and it's slowly becoming my strategy too, because it's just like it's easier to manage at scale. But he was telling of a friend that he was buying a condo in Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and he was applying some rule of like, let's say I buy for $50,000. I put $20,000 in it, and I sell back for like 100,000. So like 50, 20, 100. Always applying the same rule. And he was telling that like that. Let's say in Asia, sometimes the people who own these places, they don't get design, and it's true. Like think of a few places that we went, like they get design. So,
Yeah.
and when they get it, they get it. But when they don't get it, it's so ugly. You're like, a $1,000 couch, just like the picture would, like your flat would worth 10 times the price of the couch. Sometimes we entered like Airbnb place. We're like, oh my god, this is so
Kitten.
and a kitten and ugly, and that can happen a lot because. Then I'm not sure if I understand correctly, but sometimes things seems to be owned by grandma who owned like the entire district, and now grandma's old, so it's like the uncle and the cousins and and everybody like argue with each other, like so buying, flipping, and getting the money. You know? I could be your partner in that endeavor.
And then I was also thinking about maybe to, I don't know, make some extra money this summer to try the taco thing. Just to make some extra money to put towards debt and or put in a little account to, you know, for something. To work towards this potential idea of like entering this realm of future real estate possibilities.
The thing is, like, let's say you sell food. you make like, let's say $1 a taco.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you don't calculate your time, which fine. But it's also if you don't calculate the gas and the wear and tear on the vehicle that you use to go get the food and the wear and tear on the equipment that you use to cook the thing. And it's like, then if you calculate really, there are chances that you lose $1 per taco. So
I could get food delivered.
yeah, but then you need equipment to.
What if I came up with smart food, budget food? Like I can do that.
Yes,
And it's not like it would be an extensive menu kind of thing. It would be like 2 kinds, like very.
but the thing is, taco
Basic.
too. Like that's not addressing what your clientele really wants. What do you think people want? Kids, do they want a taco?
Puts in.
They want a poutine. They want French fries. That's the thing that they want. But that's the thing. Now you have to fucking be in front of a.
I don't want to do that.
I know, that's the thing. That's the problem. Now you're selling taco to people who want French fries. And that's where it becomes a lot of effort for like no money. And then it's kind of, but like the extent of my support will be to not get in the way.
I know. What if I worked out some costs and propose something to you? Or I don't even have to propose anything to you. I could do it totally on my own. As long as you don't hear about it.
With the help of staff that I rely on to actually do work.
No.
And with the help of vehicles that I rely on for other purposes. You can get a bike. Go to Gravel. But with the fridge, that's the thing. So the fridge, okay, fine. Can I use the fridge? Yes. Oh, the fridge broke. There we go, let's say. That's where, like, let's say the fridge breaks right now. I'm like, the fridge broke. Like, who gives a shit?
I think it'll be a good exercise for me.
Maybe. But, like, don't.
Are you just saying that because the camera's on right now?
No, but it's a good thing to bring it in front of the camera so I cannot go ape shit on selling the food thing. But selling food, it's so low. Like, okay, so here's okay, I will give you an example. I told you the story of a girl who went to Bromont to get a modification au règlement de zonage, to get tiny house on her land. Okay. The people living right next to that, they showed up. And they're like, well, no. But then at some point, there was one girl, like, she was kind of like giving her the answer, like helping her, like, you're young, I see, so I will help you out here. And so she said, like, she gave the key at that reunion. She said, whenever there's a project like that, you always show up to say there's not going to be any, like, repercussion, like any repercussion for you. It's going to be all nice. And then, but we know there will be repercussions. What are you offering? Like, we know there's going to be stuff. It's like if you come to us saying, like, there's not going to be anything, we shut off. Like, we know there's going to be repercussion. And then I was like, that's the proper way to approach it. And I checked what was she going to say. And she continued with the line, no, I'm telling you, it's all nice. And then, the girl was like, all right. And then I opposed, everybody opposed. She needed some kind of upside. Don't tell me that.
What would have been her upsides?
It could have been It's so easy. Like, what is it? Like, first of all, okay, I have ideas. What do you want? Like, you want a parc à chien, dog park?
That
What?
she would have built on her land?
Yeah, let's say I build a dog park.
Okay.
What about that? Like, you've been asking the city, they didn't build one. What if I put like 4 fences and we give you a parc à chien?
Yeah.
You're allowed to go here, walk your dog. Is that something?
So how does this relate to?
Don't tell me there's not gonna be repercussions for me.
Okay.
I know there will be
Okay,
repercussion.
right.
Giving you the key here. Don't tell me like I'll do it alone and you'll have nothing to do. Here's the key. There will be repercussion. What's my upside?
You'll get fed?
No. Work something out. That for sure I'm like, oh, all right, it's kind of cool. Because like now you're adding something. Content can be something, yeah. Content can be an upside. Like money, let's forget about money.
Content, good, good for the community.
Which community though?
For us, the auberge.
That's like
doing something for the community, giving them something like exciting to be like, oh, they're doing something nice for us.
Who?
Well, the locals.
They will hate it. They will hate it. It's like most of them will hate it. Can you believe they're selling this stuff for that much?
All the Mexicans, all these Latinos, what are they doing here?
It's just like the locals, they will hate it. That's for sure. They will never come. And when they do, they will just say, ah. And then like find it too expensive. Well, the clients, some of them will love it. Yeah, taco, like next to the
Some
pool.
of them. All of them?
Not all of them, because some of them will be like, can you believe they sell us that stuff for that much? I can buy this stuff at IGA. Like, have you learned anything about like the price of restaurants in Quebec?
Well, I'm gonna make them cheap.
But then that's where like then there's no money. If you make them cheap, then there's really no money for us. That's the catch.
No, I'm gonna make like the recipe will be cheap to make.
Yes, okay. Then,
That's what I mean.
But then people see cheap.
No, I'm gonna make it look and taste good. Like,
Yeah,
there's a certain like
that I believe
magic
you
to
can
that.
do. Yes, that I believe you can do. But remember when you tried to do ×3, which is not even what they recommend.
Yes, but I was using like very expensive meat.
Yeah, but even with the cheaper meat, it was hard to do ×3. It's hard. It's hard. Like that part is hard. So that part, it's like, don't think that you like have it all figured out. It's hard for everyone. Just go and ask around. Yeah. I think he sold the casse-croûte, le rond-point. There's some
really?
other guy that shows up and like he said he bought it. Yeah. So that's where like, yeah, make it good and then but don't assume that everybody will be happy buying something already cooked. People don't want that anymore. Like the only thing that's left that they can pay for is a poutine.
What do you mean they don't want something already cooked?
It's kind of weird. People analyze and then they calculate with the price at IGA. And they're like, can you believe? That's what people do.
Yeah, but most people, especially clients, they don't want to go to IGA.
So when they're on vacation, I will agree that when they're on vacation, they're like, I want to cook, And then they're kind of like, I wish you could have feed me. But as soon as you start serving stuff, then they're like, can you believe the price? So they say that they wish you would feed them, but for free. Which is kind of like, It's just like it doesn't work. But like try to explain something to just like they don't want to pay. Let's say. But I mean, look at Ginette. It's full. Like he runs out of cheese. So, but he serves poutine. That's like the.
But he serves a lot of different foods. They
Yeah.
have a whole menu.
Yeah. Plus, it's in front of the beach. A taco stand.
5 à 7.
5 à 7. Yeah. It's gonna be like doing it for content, for example. It's a great idea. Let's say doing it for something else than the actual profit is a good idea. If there's profit, then that's on top of the thing that you. But then it's like city insurance, all that stuff. Let's say.
I will inquire.
Talk to me first. Don't inquire to city and insurance and anyone. Like talk to me first. I'm open, but I'm also.
Well, do you need insurance to like run a bake sale, let's say?
I don't know. That's the thing. Let's say. I know that I have insurance without a restaurant. That I know. Like, if somebody operates a restaurant like on my land in her truck, let's say, I think it's okay. I think the city too kind of like, man, whatever.
Well, can I call and ask? I would call the MAPAC first.
And then there's the MAPAC. I'm open. It was Camille's idea.
Was it?
Mm-hmm. She wanted to do a taco stand in the atelier. Maybe we can have free staff.
We can have what?
You can have free staff, maybe.
Like her?
Like her, yeah.
No, the atelier is too far.
No, you would do it in the truck. At the view.
Something like that. I need a folding table. It's like
I don't think the truck is that good. Like you can't stand. Maybe a tent and a table is better. Like look at the way they do it here. It's a tent and a table, and like small ass like thing to sit.
Yeah.
And then taco. Meat or tofu?
Yeah. I already have an idea in my head.
Really?
Yes.
I like the real estate project.
I do too, but
I like when you feed me.
I do too, but I also want to make some extra cash, which I know you don't believe that will make some extra cash. And maybe it won't make like $10,000, but what if I make like $3,000 profit or something? That's some money that can, first of all, I'll have a very good learning experience.
Yes.
Okay. Second of all, it's some money that I can, like either put towards debt or use that to like, I don't know, start putting aside to invest in something, which I know it's,
Yes.
I don't know. I want to start somewhere.
Look at the key here. Take it. Don't tell me there's not gonna be repercussion for me. I
No,
know
you're
that.
giving it to me too soon because we're on camera. I give it back to you. I will take it later.
Okay. I'll put it in my little pocket.
But the goal is not like to pursue food truck, whatever. This is just an experience to work hard and to try and make some extra money. But then I also think about, well, would that be worth my time? Should I just scrap that and focus on, like, don't even consider that for the summer?
I
Help,
will
like, with
need
the
help.
auberge.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll need help.
So there's that too.
Yeah, that's the thing. Some extra money. I'm like, There's that room needs to be clean. There's that problem. Like, just take the list and go distribute it to someone. Like, take any stress away from me and go distribute it with money to someone. That's like so much more
I
money.
just want to make my own money a little bit. Although I am with YouTube a little.
But that's the other thing. Now YouTube takes a fucking like when, like, let's say you practice doing a video per day and then you publish one per week, but you practice every day, you'll get better, then you'll get like more views, and that brings in money without any, and it brings in money forever.
That's true.
Forever. The taco, you sell the taco, here's your $1. You want an ice cream? That's your entire day of taco. Like, went to the ice cream, and now you have to start over with YouTube. Like, you do it and it's done, and then it brings you like $1 per day forever. So instead of like 300 taco, I would make 300 videos.
Tacos are more fun.
Not when you produce them 12 hours a day, 7
Yeah, but
days a
you
week.
don't like to cook or anything. I have a different viewpoint on that.
Yeah, fine.
You could never see yourself doing that. I could not see myself doing that forever either, but for a short period of time, yes.
Yeah, like, but how many tacos are you gonna sell in 2 hours? So like I said, that's 2 hours.
5 à 8.
5 à 8, 3 hours. How many tacos are you gonna sell in 3 hours?
50. That's not a...
No way.
I'm trying to...
That's not reasonable.
I mean, ideally I would like 300, but I don't know.
300 tacos
Yeah.
in 3 hours? 100 tacos an hour? Like, there's no way you can output that, first of all. And our clients, there's not even...
Yeah, but clients buy 2-3 tacos.
No. Clients, they arrive at Noza, you're full of food because they know they're gonna cook. They spend the entire day going from farm to farm and then coming back with the stuff because we go there, we can bring our own alcohol, we can bring our own food. It's not gonna be that many. If you put it like on the side of the road and you do it like at noon, but you don't want to do that.
Or at 5. People
Or
are
at
finished work.
5. No, but there's no...
Like the Robin after work, it's packed.
Yeah, all right. 5. Like, but on the side of
thought
the
of that
road,
too.
but people are not going to see you. You could put a little sign,
I would
taco
put a
that way. Yeah, taco that way. Yeah. Then, well, I could. It's worth it to try one night.
I could do it at the house.
You could do it at the house. That's like already...
And it's not on the business property.
That's already like kind of... You could do it like half of the business property, then half the house. And if the city comes, you're like, what's the problem? It's the business. You're like, click.
Do we have a problem anymore?
No, but that part, like the city, it's not like a food truck. Forget it. That's fine. Let's say for one night, it doesn't matter. For 60 nights, then it's kind of like, whoops, that's kind of a business, and then it needs to be properly like registered in projects and stuff. But then it's like for money, no. It's like, let's be reasonable here. It's not for money, you know. That's just like for fun, to give the guys something that they could do to make their own money. Maybe to practice my Spanish.
But at the Van Fest, I made a profit. I now know I didn't have to pay anybody.
At the Van Fest, let's say you had paid everybody.
I know, but I will, like, this is different. This is like a one-item situation. It's not
but At the Van Fest, you did something that you couldn't do alone, first of all.
Yes.
So you could do something else that you can't do alone. All these stands that we watch and all the guys in their like motorcycle, they operate their business alone.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're two, you're dead. That's it.
It would be something I can do by myself.
Well, if you're alone, then it's possible. But then you have to prep, right? Where are you gonna prep?
In our kitchen.
But that's weird. Now our kitchen is a prep kitchen for like cooking meat for other people. That smells like meat. Like there's a room right next to it.
Well, I'm going to be cooking for you in there.
Yeah,
a lot of meat.
Yeah, but that's one, like you feed one person, meat to one person, or meat to like 20, 30, 40. That's a different quantity of meat. Like it's a lot of meat. And then you're prepping, let's say, for 40 person. Because the thing is, they prep like maniacs to be able to serve it in 15 minutes. And then it's like, that's where you don't calculate the price for the kitchen, the price for the gas, the price for the oven is gonna break. The oven is already broken. But I chose not to repair it. Now I would have to repair it.
I don't need the oven.
I like when you feed me and me alone.
I have to pee now.
Okay.
We've been talking for over an hour.
Okay, it was a good practice.
Okay.
I like practicing with you.
Okay.
You brought this. You tricked me.
I did. But the real estate stuff is true. That is the primary goal.
The real estate is a good idea. The taco thing, it's not a good idea to make money. The taco thing is a good idea for other reasons. Just for fun. I just do it for fun.
And to learn.
But if you just do it for fun, then it's one time for whatever. You just do it for fun. And to learn, yeah, but it's not like every night. To make money, then it's a different perspective. It's from noon to 8, and then it's like, oh my God, like it becomes a whole thing. You have to charge, you arrive with credit card, you don't have change. It's like a whole thing.
I'm going to pee.
I don't like this food project, but I like the flipping project.
Baby, I have to learn. I have to do things.
Okay, but then the real estate stuff, that was good.
I know, but I don't like...
You're gonna pee with the microphone.